Hey, what's up, guys? Session number 2 of the C section. Remember, this is A1 through A8. We're going through all 8 exercises for 1, 2, or 3, or even 4 rounds, depending on, what your fitness level is. We're starting off with a double kettlebell clean. So on this movement, because you're going 2 kettlebells, I recommend that you go a little bit lighter than you would normally. So here I got my hips back. I'm going to squeeze my lats and my shoulder blades, keeping my trunk nice and tight. I'm gonna drive and explode through my legs and keep those kettlebells nice and tight. I'm ending off in this rack position. When I come back into the bottom, I'm going to keep it nice and tight. I don't have to go all the way down to the ground. Load, explode. That's your double kettlebell clean for the designated number of repetitions. For A2, the next exercise, we have our lateral traveling beast walk. So here I'm going to be in what we consider a beast position with the knees underneath the hips and belly button, shoulders over the hands, knees are 1 or 2 inches off the ground. Here I'm going to laterally move with my opposite leg and opposite arm, trying my best to not let my butt raise up towards the ceiling, keeping that belly button in towards the spine. Pick a distance that you know will challenge you, and then bring it back to where you started. Opposite leg, opposite arm, and that is your lateral traveling beast walk. That is a lot harder than it looks. Go slow on that one so you can really feel the core working. Right after that, guys, we have our kettlebell switch rows. So for this movement, I'm gonna demonstrate with the same kettlebell, but you can go a little bit heavier. So here, nice wide base, send those hips back, Superman chest, as I like to say. I'm going to keep this opposite hand ready to receive the kettlebell. Here at the top, I'm gonna pull and gently pass it to the other hand, letting that kettlebell slide off of my fingers into the other hand right at the rib cage. Notice how I'm not overusing my legs, and I'm not jerking my shoulders either. So I'm trying to keep my body as stiff as possible, but really rotating at the upper back. For A4, we have our spinal rock to tripod. So for this movement here, I'm going to start off sitting down, and what I'm gonna do is bring my knees in towards my chest, and that's going to cause my back to round, creating some curvature for me to rock on. So I'm going to rock, mostly lower and mid back. Place that hand right behind me. Fingers are going back. Reach for the ceiling. Really squeezing the glutes, pushing those hips up towards the ceiling. Back down. Spinal rock. And here's your tripod. One more time. A lot of abs, a lot of mobility there. For our next exercise, we have our kettlebell rotational lunge. We're gonna do 1 kettlebell, 2 arms here. So on this one, I like to teach this and say, pretend like you're inside of a clock. You got 12 o'clock in front of you, 6 o'clock behind you, and we're going to step to 7 and 5 o'clock, okay? So let's do that for real this time. So step back, one leg points straight ahead, the other leg goes out to the side. Sit back as much as you can. You're gonna feel a big stretch on your inner thighs here. So rotating back to 5 and 7, that's your kettlebell rotational lunge. Right after that, we have our alternating scorpion reach. We're gonna start from what we consider to be our crab position. So here, hands are going back behind me. I'm gonna take my foot, slide it underneath my body, let the opposite arm come up and around, and then from here, reach that leg back and across, press the ground away from you, get your head through your shoulders, and return back to your crab position. Leg comes underneath, arm comes over, head in between your arms, press the ground away from you, reach, feel those quads and hips open up, and back to your crab position. All right, guys, that's your alternating scorpion reach. Next up, we have our 2-arm kettlebell swing. So I'm gonna come over here. Woo, so for our 2-arm kettlebell swing, I would recommend that you guys go a little bit lighter on this. Keep your feet a little closer together because you got 2 kettlebells moving forward and back right outside your knees. So we got to be safe on this one. So here, I'm going to sit back and really load those hips, stand up nice and tall as opposed to thrusting my hips too far forward. Sit back, nice and tall. Notice how I stay up here until the kettlebell brings me back down to my loaded position. And when you're done here, finish with some grace, style. And remember, the kettlebell is going back in front of you. Try not to let it yank you down. For the last exercise of the C workout, A number 8, we have our front kick through, same side. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to set up in a push-up position. And from here, I'm going to take my left foot, step outside of my left hand, and I'm going to take my right leg, slide it through, keep my hips low. Back here, I'm going to work on the same side for the designated number of sets and repetitions. If you want to take this leg back and then reset, you can do that as well. Either version works. All right, guys, so you're going to do that for the designated number of repetitions on one side, same thing on the other side. That is session number 2 of your C workout. We'll see you guys in the next one.